Hey YouTube, T. Holtz here. We're taking a look at my 10-gallon planted tank tonight. And it currently houses, it's going to be hard to see maybe, 2 African dwarf frogs. There's one of them. Difficult to see because not a whole lot of light getting to the bottom here. There's one of the African dwarf frogs, and there's another one. Oh, he was over here. And you see him a little bit moving around. There he is. I was a little concerned with getting these frogs because they are an aquatic frog, but they do need to be able to get to the surface to breathe air. And this tank is very heavily planted with a lot of floating plants, and I thought maybe the frogs might have a little bit of difficulty getting to the surface to breathe air. But they've been in here about 3 weeks now, and there hasn't been any problems. And you get a better view of the frog, one of the 2 that are housed in this tank. They're very nice, interesting to watch. They stay down at the bottom under the water for 5 minutes or so, and then all of a sudden got to get their air, and they quickly swim up to the top, get a gulp of air, and back down they go again. Here's the other one over here. This used to be a shrimp tank. At one point I had about 100 shrimp in here, but as time went on I lost all but about 3 or 4 shrimp remain in here. For some reason, I don't know what happened. So I decided to put some frogs in here. They probably could benefit from a little bit more space and not have it so heavily planted so they can move around. But they seem to be doing okay. Goes up, get his air, and back down to the bottom. There's one of the shrimp that are still in here. 3 or 4 cherry shrimp still live in this tank. This tank is got some red root floaters on the surface, along mixed in with some duckweed and Amazon frog bit. Used to be all frog bit, but the red root floaters have taken over. It has a green element LED light and a Whisper 40 filter, which, as you can hear, isn't whispering anymore. It makes a lot of noise. It's an old filter. It's time for me to get another filter for this tank. I was a little concerned with all of these floating plants at the top, if the frogs would be able to go up to the surface and get air. I've been thinning out the plants every so often. They need to be thinned out again. But the frogs swim up to the top. They kind of poke their nose through the plants and get their air. Even with all these plants on top, it hasn't seemed to really be a problem. We have some dwarf lily plants here in the front, some Anubias here in this corner, and Anubias Nana Petite there right in the center of the screen. Some Java moss and Riccia moss all mixed in on a piece of wood that you can't see anymore. A Quipwenthy, Some more Anubias here. And some more Riccia moss in this corner. And in the foreground, all the way around and round, is pygmy chainsword. This plant actually started on the back right corner and has made its way through runners around and around the tank multiple times. I do about, as with all my tanks, 40-50% water changes on this tank once a week. These frogs are really cool. First time I've had them, they're cool to watch. This terracotta plate here is where I put their food, either bloodworms or brine shrimp. They don't see very well, so it helps to put the food right on this plate. And as soon as I put it there, I guess they smell it, they come over to it, and it doesn't get lost in the substrate that way. It sits in that plate and they go right over there and eat it up fairly quickly. That's my 10-gallon planted tank. Thanks for watching.